Hey guys, I'm back. Let's deal on this. Hey guys, I'm sorry I haven't dated up. Busy days are busy. Now, dealing with schoolwork and having to go to dance rehearsals and such. I hope this chapter makes up for my lost time. It's gonna be a long one. Thank you all, by the way, for continuing to read this story. You remained perched on the rooftop, lurking around the ruins of injured hand. There were bandits down in the air, which you reminded a place by bandits were easily things to deal with. As you were able to keep your distance, you put out an arrow, only back to on a bow, and aim carefully. You had to hit this right, or the entire wound would be out of what's left of your skin. After this, Chuck, you closed the same eye, but breathing evenly, you covered your covered nose, drifting these nightingales' faces headpiece cover your face. You let the arrow fly, hitting the bandit in the chest. He drawn quietly before dropping with a line. You watch as the surrounding bandits did absolutely nothing, not even the noise the body had made. Maybe they thought it was a rock falling from a mountain. You moved down from your place, stepping on a wooden panel, aware that they had more than likely couched themselves. You shallowed as you stepped through cracks softly, but not enough bands to hear. You ended up on other circle rooftop. You just like the ones you just had been on. You crouched as you made your way slightly towards the boarded bridge. Seeing a band in the distance, easy enough, you thought pulling out the other on your quiver and aiming just as careful as you did before. You aimed a little bit higher, letting your arrow whistle quietly to the wind. Then it's in the bandit's back and dropped just as quickly and loudly, as the other one had. Again, no reaction from the others. It was a little bit odd they were so unactive, but you didn't mind either. The more undiscovered you were, the better. You walked down the wooden plank bridge, watching the bandits on the level. Before you didn't want to draw his attention too much. You were in all black armor, in the middle of a snowy setting. You were much more than obvious. You found a set of stones staring and you traveled up to them quickly and quietly. The sound reminded non-existent as you went up to the second flight. The old dwarven door stand massively in front of you, and you inhaled it nervously. Chill time. You push up the doors, making your way straight inside quietly. You straighten out from your crouching position, straighten your hood before you begin to walk further inside. When you finally reach the entrance to the first one of the ruin, a lamp began to form in your throat. A lump. You wanted to drag and throw up whatever was left in your stomach, for you had come here. There were bands in the air, bloody and mangled of the floor. Their blood was splattered on the floor, and some even on the walls. Their lifeless bodies created a bit of rusty smell you weren't looking forward to. Disgusting, you thought. You stepped around the puddle of blood on the floor and went up to the small stone staircase. Walking to the only walker that was available. You had heard something further inside, so you crouched down once again. Observe, you come to the Jonan fence. Then a Jonan or one around. Steam emitting from the single opening in the top. Clearly had a mind of its own and has a mission to perform. That wasn't good. You waited until it wore out of sight, proceeded to creep down the laundry slowly, making sure you caught your footing on the walk you decided to move on to. You dropped without a sound, you crept off with ease and proceeded down the hall. You waved your way through the gates, looking around for more to dwarven life. Instead of being greeted with a clear room, you came across one set with fire traps. There was only enough room for you to settle onto, and you did so. Close your eyes so the heat emitted from the flames didn't burn you. You hovered in relief so the traps were finished. Relieved that you didn't burn and die. You tumbled under the last flame and pushed open the gate with your boots. So it's quick and easy, you stunned straight in. Fixing your quiver and bow that was on your back, you then took off down the hall. The pedal play of armor boots as they hit the stone floor. The stone and gold walls whirling by like a train on the earth seemed to meet up with Carlisle and Boynoff took over. You bounded up a other staircase with ease. Warning sound leads down a hall. You turned a quick right as you saw the opening, scattering to a stop as you come across a lever that was more likely a lift. You put the platform where into lights as it lowered you. You crossed your arms as the walls surrounding you waited until the clearing came into field so you could take off again. Once it did, you went out and down this double staircase. Carlisle met you on the bottom pattern. You could see the worried look in her eyes. Bunyov's been here. I hope we aren't too late. Those Bunyovs back here. You began filling your jab with Flex's door on memory of the mess you had found. Bunyov and I found them like that. Mercer's doing, she replied. We have to catch up to him before it's too late. I'm ready. Let's go. He said, by the way, just check carefully. I want to be surprised if we left behind a few surprises for us. She wanted to turn it quickly and wound, pushing open the door in the rush and running out into the open. You did the same, making your way towards the golden gate that surrounded the platform to look out surrounded. You waited, seeing a figure creeping over towards who was standing watch. Come here quickly, you warned. It's Mercer. I'm on it, last. Bunyov moved to a gate, looking around for a possible shortcut. Damn it, there's no other way. With that, the figure that was Mercer killed the witch. He's toying with us. He wants us to follow. Let's say realizing Mercer's play on us, and we'll be ready for him. Let's go, you demanded, running toward the only hallway that will allow you to progress. You were quick on your feet, and the others are having a slightly tough time catching up with you. You slowed down, looking behind you, even so armed to see whether or not they need to catch their breath. Caught up, you took off again. You were slower this time, though. When as mass as this, it was easy to lose track of someone. You pushed open another set of solid doors, waving past a pillar that stopped some bees from flooding the entire path. You took the entire... that's it. Some debris from flooding the entire path. You took the only clear route, sticking to your left the entire slop down. Once you came into the clearing, you finally got to see what this room really looked like. It was massive, carved and beautiful, even in its destroyed state. You can't but hear your breaths fade as you realize how little you are in a place like this. Nordic ruins were nothing compared to this, was a fact. Well, something has you in hold, last. Bring out starting voice made you trump. You told while nervously dipping your stomach, still flared at the sound of the man. I'm greatly deserved. Unfortunately, right now, Unfortunately, right now, don't touch me. My nails hurts. Unfortunately, now isn't the best time for that. You just have to get that gate open. Find 2 leathers on each side. I'll get this one. Can you get the other? Most definitely. Be careful, Bunyov, you said it and found as he went along the upper level to get to the lever. You saw him on the other side and you nodded. You pulled the lever and steam as it tricked into the other direction. He did the same as the corresponding time. You watched as the day whirled back into the ground. The Falmar that were patching the area stood and raised their heads, listening out for us to slip up. They're ready, their bows and swords, murmuring their language. You looked at Bunyov, waiting to carefully creep down the stairs. You looked back at Bunyov, who had been standing behind you to keep watch. You trusted her to do the same. You're all in the middle of the upper level, standing down each other with care. The stone cracked underneath your feet, and you paused in panic. The Falmar looked up in haste, its dull eyes staring straight at you, but nothing happened. It made a noise of disapproval before sheathing its weapon and returning to what it had been near its hut. You sighed with relief and keep moving forward. You looked at the 2 Falmar guarding the gate. Before moving past them, you looked behind you, seeing Bunyov kind of close behind, just as light on their feet as you were. You smiled in proof. You turned straight again, standing straight and running quietly to the other side of the hall. You came across the other pile of debris, turning left to go around. When you did, you all come across other chamber. You stared at the dual walls with worry. Looks like we can take the low road or the high road across the chamber. Your choice. Bunyov said, taking the words right out of your mouth. Glad he did. You weren't sure what to say about the guard area. Shame it wasn't destroyed. You're curious how it all looked when it was fighting. You went across the fallen rooftops and intending to take neither. You were going to make the path of your own to decide. You slid down the doom sharp breath. You passed in a hurry. When you saw the armor, paused in a hurry. You saw the armor from creeping towards you with its sword drawn. Your heart beat your chest as you quickly and quietly moved to your side. Pressing your back against the wall, you waited for the blind snow to walk by. Hearing its July growl wasting its flow, you were afraid to know you were there. You were hoping it didn't. There was a wobble, a bit of a quick wells under your foot, and you grasped quietly and fumbled for your balance. Leaning against the rooftop wreckage, there was already present behind you. There was sound of crumbling stone and a delving bang. The entire tower collapsed. Bunyoff muttered in disbelief, thanked the gods he was okay. The only reason to do that would be to block pursuit. Must be more circulated finalized. You believe she was okay as well. You ignore their conversation, aiming your bow at almost seeing the base of the wind that would lead you up higher. You pulled up another arrow out of the quiver, aiming more precisely before letting it fly. Then a white in the creature's skull and it dropped to the floor. You moved forward, working toward the fallen body, and pulled the arrow out of the corpse. Warning low, you needed to reuse now. You aimed the bloody arrow down, letting it fly at it. Arrow of Thamar was pacing on the platform. It dropped it, falling off the ramp that the arrows lost. No big deal, have more. You thought you slipped the bow around your body again. Moving around the lamp, and you needed to progress. Run out arrows, you would just have to use the ones off of Falmar. Smarty didn't want to salvage arrows off a corpse. You had to if it tried to you fine. You moved forward up the ramp. It struck with as you went as a blind arrow whirled past your head. You saw the farmer on the rooftop, and you saw other fly by other directions. Once it pierced the Falmar's leg, the creature took a tumble off the roof and landed with a crunch on the ground. I had no idea what that. My thanks, Carl, you said as you looked back at her. You all progress. This is going to be a long journey, though. The area, you know that for a fact. The sanctuary, just by the place you had to be, Mars was here. You were sure of it. There was no other place that you could think of that could possibly hold the pharaohs that he had been searching so hard for. He's here. And he hasn't seen us yet. Bunyoff watched the door. Carlisle wait. This place you have. Oh. Carlisle low enough so only the three of you can hear. Ah, that's nothing driven by me, Bunyoff said proudly. You could hear Bunyoff picking away at the eyes on the statue of Carlisle. As Carlisle continued to order you climb down that ledge, see you can. You not only began to quietly tiptoe to the edge, but Mercer's cocky voice trails up your fine. You have been detected. The trail let out a loud sob and dropped down from the statue. Carlisle, when will you learn that you can't get the drop on me? A shockwave emitted from his hands, flopping, began to rain down from the ceiling. You stared up at him. Back at Bunyoff, you shallowed as you waited for anything else to happen. Nothing did. You tried to step towards the group you had traveled with, but the floor then began to collapse underneath you. You struck as you dropped down, and you could hear Bunyoff calling your name in panic. You droned as you laid out of the floor. You stretched across to the woman that had fallen with you. You have been seeing Bunyoff looking below and concerned. When I'm okay, you don't have to worry. Quiet. And you could see him hovering relieved. You cast a look at Mercer, who was warning toward the siphon, so he could look at you clearly, but not being at the same level as you, coward, you thought. When I've brought you here, you before me, I could feel a sudden shift in the wind. The moment I knew it, and with one of us at the end of the blade. Give me the key, Mercer, you ordered. You weren't intimidated, sure as hell weren't afraid to fight. What, Carlisle, been filling your head with tales of thieves of honor, old wife with falsehoods and broken promises. Nocturnal doesn't care about you or the key or anything having to do with the deal. I don't believe in Nocturnal Dime. It appears the shadows show more than your presence. They blind your wisdom as well. Our actions always have been one of the same, both as lying. Shot and still, and the difference is that I still have honor. It's clear you never seen skeleton. It's clear you never seen the skeleton key as I do. It's an instrument of limitless wealth. Instead, you choose to fall over your foolish code. If anyone falls, it will be you. Then the die is cast, and my blade will once again taste nightingale blood. Someone that spells an answer, and it shot up to the duel who had been standing there and watching worthy. The swords were drawn, and the other now clicking one again. Mirza took an old minute. You declared him he was going to pay dearly, your servant. The trader turned invisible, and you looked over for him. You have careful eyes. You could see the shape of someone, and they were invisible. If you were possible, it was possible to find him. You just had to look for a shift. Then you saw him sneak out to your right. You aimed a quick arrow and fired his bolted off, and your eyes followed him. He was heading down the platform to you. You fired again, and it pierced his leg. He yelped, and his fist faded, and backed into view with a puff of smoke, and you could see him glare at you. You drew your sword and locked your jaw as you stepped towards him. As I had said, you will fall, you said, darkly, and your blade plunged into his body. Wait, I said you will fall. Wait. He comes back into view with puff and long. You could see him glare at you. You tried your sword and locked your jaw as he stepped towards him. As I had said, you will fall. You said darkly, and your blade punched into his body. Marshall began to choke, gathered as his blows rose up, and his head lay back as his life was taken from him. You daggered into the pouch you had noticed on him, treating the skeleton as well as the eye. You took the gold he had, as well as taking it on the purse you had of your own. This place is coming down. Let's get out of here, Carlisle shouted. No luck there. Something must have fallen on the other side of the door, because it isn't moving. Buñuel said, we have to find another way out before this place fills with water. Carlisle said, nothing. The pillar of liquid filling up the area fast. Come down, you ordered. They did so and began to run towards you, but the level was so fast they were swimming over. You knew it. You tried to swim for the exit, but the weight of I was bringing you down. Come on, last man, I said as he carried your extra weight as well as his own, pulling you to the stairs that led to the exit. You held onto his hand tightly, and you were running up onto the stairs in a matter of a second. You could have felt the wine at your heels spilled up in the tunnel that was on the other end of the room. The current was too swift and was covered in a matter of seconds. The wire pried you and brought you off apart, and you looked around for him in panic. When you called for him, feeling the weight drown you downward. When I'm over here, lass, hang in there. You called back. You couldn't tell where. You could hear the walls beginning to collapse above your head. When you hurry. I'm trying, lass. The current is fighting me. You could hear the arrogance in his voice. He didn't want this to get worse. Emergency, I think. The walks began to splash in the water, and one landed right on your head, and you feel the lightheadedness take over, and the blackness shot at you. You were sinking. The water took the breath from your lungs, and then you were gone. You were hazed. Your vision was clouded, and you had absolutely no idea where you had landed yourself. All you seemed to remember was the feeling of water entering your lungs. Your vision was fading to black. You remember Buñuel's voice being muffled as he scrambled in water for you. Everything cutting off from your senses from there. You were outside. Yes, outside. The air was sharp, and the snow tricked onto your uncovered face. Wait, uncovered? Where was your face mask? You felt around lazily for the piece of fabric that was supposed to take cover of your face or identity stick. You found it tucked around your neck. At least it was better than lost. Your body was bouncing up and down, gradually, and you could hear the coming of hooves as you parted down the path. You were on the back of a horse on the cobblestone path. The question was holding you close to them to keep you warm. Looked up, seeing the uncovered face of Buñuel. Slowly deteriorating snow around you was cold enough for his breath to become a cloud. The Troy's smile that showcased his white teeth was a defiant contrast to the snow around you as he held you closer to him. "Hey, you're a white," he said, his voice delighted. "Who pulled me out of the water? I swear I was sinking," you murmured. You were, but I managed it you in time," he replied with the same hush voice. "Do me a favor, thus." He planted a lead-filled hard kiss on your lips. "Don't ever scare me like that." You swallowed, and you could feel the heat in your cheeks throughout the stiff rain, the cold left behind. I promise I won't." Twilight Sepulchre, the place that caused all of this trouble. Just for you to come back and see what had become after Mercer's influence onto it. When you have pushed open the doors and you will come upon a dawn in tunnel, you follow the narrow path, but when you have climb remain outside. And the tunnel was a womb, one that was grand and quite large. Standing in the middle was a blue figure, probably one of the dead. Oh, wait. Yeah, let me read this again. The Twilight Sepulchre, a place that caused all this trouble. I just want you to come back and see what it had become after Mercer's influence. Influence the chaos. Okay, you went down the middle path, but the spirit stopped you. You could see your stiff but then loose as he was forced, saying he pulled his hand back and looked at you. "I know who you, but I sense you're one of us. Who are you?" A soft voice echoed through the ground wall. "I ask you the same question," replied. "I'm last of the Nightingale Sentinels. I'm afraid I defend the Sepulchre alone for what seems like eternity. Last but not least, we've been betrayed by one of our own kind. In fact, I'm to blame for it. What happened? I was blinded by the dark treachery, miscredited as friendship, perhaps. If I'd been more vigilant, the Mercer Flay would have lured me to my fate and stolen the Silky. Then Mercer Flay wanted to have lured me to my fate and stolen the Silky. Then the suddenly realized Dallas, wait a minute. You're Dallas? I haven't heard that name in a long time. How do you know me? I have the key. The key? You have the skeleton? I never thought I'd see it then. So he did. His voice turned dark, almost in relief and sadness. Then it's over. And my death was in vain. Oh, you're a great deal, Nightingale. I did this for Nocturne. That's kind of noble sentiment for someone in art. Well, your line of work. My only regret is that you had to undertake this task alone. Carlia helped me. She's still alive? I fear she'd be following the same fate, ending up a victim of Mercer's betrayal. Then take the key right all at once. Nothing will bring me more pride than to return the key. I'm afraid it's possible from the moment I arrived here. I felt myself dying. How can a spirit die? How can a spirit die? Because it's merely a temple or a float to house the key. Within its walls is the Emblemar, a conduct to Nocturnal's realm of Everdroom. When Mercer stole the key, the conduct closed, severing limit our ties to her. And I have to proceed alone. I'm afraid so. I'm weakening, and I could feel myself slipping away. The years without restoration of my power has took its toll. Damage has been caused that can only be credited by following the pilgrim's path to the Evermore. You have a mirror in place on the key. Much thanks, Dallas. You nodded and traced to the steps. This was going to be difficult. The bottom of the chamber bent inward, and you felt yourself fall into one other level below. You streaked but managed to land on your feet skillfully. You looked onto the absurd and noticed the small circle lock on your ground. This must have been the Ember. You slipped the skeleton key into inside and turned back up as you noticed the circle began to open on itself. You watched as a flood of cloud quills emitted from the open portal, and Nocturnal's figure self emerged. A smirk played on the corner of her pale lips and the black robes on her body, who's around a mystery non-existent breeze. My, what do we have here? It's been a number of years since I set foot on your world. Perhaps it's been moments. One tends to lose track, so once again, the key has been once stolen. The trampoline returns it to the sepulchre. Now that the Ebomir has been restored, you stand before me wearing your eclair, a pat on your head, a kiss on your cheek. What you fail to realize is your actions were expectant and must present nothing more than the fulfillment of your agreement. Don't mistake my tone for displacement. After all, you're adamant to perform your duties to the letter, but we both know this has little to do with honor, oath, and loyalty. It's about the reward, the price. Fear not, you have your trinkets, you desire for power, yearn with wealth. I bid you to drink deeply from the ever mortal. This is where the agent of Nocturnal is born. The oath has been struck, the die has been cast into your fate awaits you in the Everdrome. The Evermorn opens up. The quarrels begin there. Seeing through the circle, Nocturnal begin to sink. Farewell, Nightingale. See that key stays this time, won't you? That Nocturnal was gone. You looked over to the side. Carlisle stood there alone. When enough party returned the deal and prepared them for the announcement of the new deal leader. You walked over to the dark elf and she looked at you. I'm delighted that you were able to bring the key back to safety. Nocturnal seemed pleased with her. Please, she sounds indifferent. I want to take that too hard. It's her. When I think of her as a scolding mother, continuing pushing you hard to be successful. I don't want any sounding and you're silently conscious, I assure you. Displeased with you, we won't be having this conversation. What's this thing about becoming Agent Nocturnal? The circle is at the base of Evermorn, where you've powered fitting the Nightingale agent. The cross of moon represents the agent Shadow, the half moon Sapphires, and the full moon represents the evidence, the agent of strife. Why can't I all be free? It's not a way of maintaining balance. If you feel the need to change your abilities, you can turn to the sepulchre and step on a divot, so be warned that once you choose, you can't accept for at least a day. So what now? Your life as a nightingale begin. Should the next rise, you'll be summoned to the sepulchre in order to defend it. You just welcome me back to open arms. I feel like a void in my life has finally been filled. This isn't ending two things, but actually the beginning. The beginning of what? Well, perhaps the greatest crime speed Skyrim ever knew. There are pockets brimming, coins and coffins overflowing, which is wept for the picking. Wait, coffers? I don't know what that means. It's right, for the picking. We might not just, but we're still thieves in heart, and we're damn good at what we do. Smarter than that, Amir's at the happy glance at Carlisle's outs, and they then looked at the circle that would determine the powers you would use. You sighed and stepped on the crescent moon, waiting for everything to take effect. You inhaled sharply, waiting, and then it all happened. You felt the power being planted inside. You huffled with a overbearing feeling was over, and you did what's bent down to with a few, feeling your shaky knees, and your body was gone. All you had was a shape in your place. You straightened your fist, but once again, you looked, and then you were able to turn a fist where you stepped off the plate, and Dallas appeared next to the dark purple portal. Carlisle, he called Dallas. They met in the middle of where they both stand. And a smile stretched across Carlisle's face. I feared I would never see you again. I was afraid you had become like the others. It was not for the action of this nightingale, then your fears would have become true. She honors us all. What would you do now, my love? Wait, they had a thing. Now that Nocturnal caused me to Evergreen, my contract has been fulfilled. Will I ever see you again? Debt to Nocturnal has been paid. We'll embrace once again. Farewell, Dallas. Eyes open, walk with the shadows. Goodbye, Carlisle. You both watched as Dallas stepped to the Emerald and then slowly disappeared. Carlisle smiled to herself and hugged her head, probably cherishing the last moment of Dallas. You decide to leave her to that, walking to the portal and stepping through it. You end up at the entrance and look back to see the portal in the doorway. You had stepped through it, in the challenge. You smiled in conversation. You went through the corridors and pushed open the iron doors. So you were outside once again. Now you had to turn it back to jail. Let's just hope they would take the news of their new leader. Oh, the new guild leader. Like, oh my gosh, this takes forever. I hate this trailer. Skip it. 1 second. I did not skip it. $10 million for a game like that? Oh my gosh. Well, guys, I'm sorry to say, but this is the last chapter to the story. I'm so glad. I'm sorry to say, but this is the last chapter to the story. I'm glad that it flourished this much. Actually, I almost gave up on it in the beginning, but it was the story with the slowest start. But not only did it get recognition, it baptized one of the most popular stories in a matter of a month. Continued to blossom, and I have been happier with each new lead. Thank you all who have been keeping tabs. I couldn't have done it without you. I'm sure there will be more Skyrim fix for me in the near future. Maybe some short grubbies. Oh, I think it's a good idea to go with. For all Skyrim fans will this site, I hope this continues to grow. So with Troy. As I would Troy reaching over 5k. Read some time. Much love. Oh, God. The thief stole the dragon's heart. Okay. That book is totally done. I'm totally done. Like, read that. Devil and Fex were making a habit out of sending you around to different holds. Returning from their duties with Benioff and Carlisle, the guild was in need of a new master, but you had to get yourself on their good side first. They certainly couldn't have heard about your journey, not unless Benioff decided it was a good idea to preach about it in the first place. You doubted he would do that to you, even though he did take part of the relationship he established with you. Something you both did seem to expect it without fact. David set you into solitude for a number of trials, having you scramble all over the business lounge from known as the solitude stables. It went on without a problem. You didn't like prying yourself, but you did think you were a natural thief. And it's a terrible thing to be proud of, but yet you didn't care what others thought of you when they were entire guild ready to jump to your defense. Following the trial in Markov, where you had to steal silver and moonstone socket from a woman you took shelter in the warren, she was just as you expected to be, sitting there halfway conscious in the middle of the floor. Of course, you put your hand as a push into her back, and she called the guard. You got the circuit, but you just had to wait a few moments where the guards will back off. The job to follow from stealing a donation model from the preacher in White One, you know where his house was to look as well. You broke in and stole about around 50 gold coins from his belongings while he slept. Of course, that was before you truly believed in your skills as a natural thief. Guild even came into your life. Next up was the sweep trial, when you had to return to White One sweep Yoda's house of its rivals. You had a bit of hesitancy. Yoda was a nice woman. You know her well, but that wasn't going to get in the way of you doing what you had to do. Your tribe, she wouldn't know it was you. Anyway, you two would still remain close. The trial went on without any issue. That was surprising on part. You thought your hesitant nature and taking the trial would make you slip up, maybe leave a little evidence behind, but no, nature was at your back, and your natural skills allow you to go on without any further issue. Other was a heist in Markov, where you had to steal silver necklaces from the Silver Blood. Other quick success. No one knew what hit him. You found yourself chuckling when you heard the victim realize what had just happened. The special trial from Delvin was a bit of a pain to deal with. Returning to Markov, speaking to a certain blacksmith whose name you have forgotten already. It was only to a business fit. No need to memorize names, right? Pinwatch was real bandits, and the secret opening of the bookcase surprised you. Who knew bandits were smart to create a secret entrance to a handmade hideout? They They even have created a sanctuary where they ended just never seemed to show for quite a long time. It must have taken years to perfect balance. To perfect. Bandits weren't exactly the wisest people in Tyrell. They put up a fight to remember, but you managed to take them all of your arrows and wits. As if the special was now, Delvin said you were on an expedition to White One to assist the Battleborns. You got there, they were a high powered family, but he needed to give you a break sometime. Regain sit up constantly running around, but it was all worthwhile in the end. You had to steal a warning letter, and so the White One guard would not look for a friend of one of these Battleborns. They set up the friend with a new identity by the prisoners. It was an easy job, and surprisingly, the guards didn't catch on Skyrim. The guards didn't catch on. Skyrim guards didn't catch on. Skyrim guards can be quite idiotic. After another set of jobs, you hear when I'm solitude, it was time for the position Brynjolf had promised you. You made your way down to the cistern after returning from your last set of jobs, noting that the people in the guild were already gathered and watching you as you stepped down. Spacing. That was Brynjolf. You weaved down one of the hallways, finding him in the combat training room. He had his armor flipped on, now a hood flipped over his head. He smiled kindly as you stepped towards him, and his green eyes lit up in excitement. Well, my love, it's time. It's come to make it official. It's time to become our guild master. Don't worry, I promise it will be short and sweet. And if you can meet the rest of them in the middle of the session, we can begin. You nod your head with a grin, sporting across your face, and you turn to leave the room and hand towards the sister. Brynjolf stopped you for a brief moment, turning you around and planted a kiss on your lips. Maybe it was you who was decided on last. I don't see it getting any better in someone else's hands. Blush a bit and deliciously. Oh my gosh. Trying to walk through the hall, you saw something in his green eyes, something that tried your curiosity. It was high instantly, but it wasn't negative, like he was trying to surprise you with something. What would that be? You stand in the middle of that cistern. The guild surrounded the middle. Brynjolf stood in front of you. Delvin to your right, and Vex to your left. Carlisle had appeared for this time as well, taking her place next to Brynjolf. You stared at Brynjolf as he went through the channel with a thumb. Look, I've never been good at this thing so here it is. Being guild master means more than just being a cut out of all the loot. It's about being a leader, keeping the rubble in order. With that in mind, I pose that the position of guild master shall be yours. He looked to Delvin. To his right, Delvin agreed. He replied. Brynjolf looked to his left. Vex. Sure, why not Vex? That's surprising. He looked over to Kalaya. Absolutely. Everyone in agreement, so all I could do now is name you guild master. Wish you good fortune, long life. Brynjolf speak with a grin. Now everyone get back to work. Man, and we have Glaze leaning on to you. His grin reminded the same, if not same wire. It suited him. You wanted him to say like that. For his straight face, his bandage stuck for good. You push the hood down off his head. Hearing makes a western sound around his shoulder. Keep the hood down. It suits you better. I would do so just where you live. When you chuckled, here, take this. Kind of a tradition. He handed you an amulet which looked as it was made from ebony. It was a key where it was probably the guild master's tribute. Yes. There was one more article wrapped up carefully in cloth. It felt light and favorable. You stared at him questioningly and he nodded at you to unwrap it. He had slowly endangled the architect in front of you, an amulet of Mara. He grabbed it gently, slipping it into your head. He then used a moment to crush on a powerful, passionate kiss on your lips. Will you marry me, lass? Well, I'm leaving it at that. Mushy ending for the... Wait, I hope you all enjoy this story. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow. This... Now I'm trapped in including the story of the fit. This does it just to the fans I've been waiting. Have been waiting this story with dedication. The story didn't get much at the start and the beginning. In fact, I was just about to ready to give up on this. Due to the close friend of mine, picked it back up and now waiting. Now look where it is. Over 11k views. I only expect over to make 5k views and suddenly stop. Think and then suddenly stop. Thank you so much. It feels so good with so good to watch an underdog story flourish before my own eyes. I'm pleased to announce this is all of you. I am pleased to announce this is all of you who has been stopped by the story. After playing of his quest, my chapter story, I would conduct a sequel. I've told someone that Nico the Spirit will be creative. Nico the Spirit will be creative, but I fear it will be the best to take matters into my own hands. Okay. Though, I've been observed from the website for many a moon. Notice I've taken down the second book to the story from my works, and I did so in order to get a fresh start on it. Since I have been writing here last, I would like to thank my writing has booth. Okay, guys, we finished that. 1 second, let me figure out who this Arthur is. Wow. Well, guys, these are all the books we're going to be in the future. By the way, I should know. So, get ready. But before we end this video, we're going to just look at this. What if the washer is the one that's been losing our socks and we've been blaming the dryer all these years? What if all the ancient Decepticons are actually victims of Medusa? What if April Fool's is really on April the 2nd we have been April Fooled all this time? What if oxygen's poison and it takes 80 years to kill us? What if the reason we have no visitors from the future is because we have no future? Okay. Things you never thought about. If you get out of the shower clean, then how does your towel get dirty? Okay, I do not want to read this anymore. Okay, how do I check? Oh, y'all can't see that. 1 second, I want to see the Arthur. Story info. iisolari. I'm waiting to follow his side because he said he's making another book. Who's this another person? I don't know. I'll do it later. Guys, we have a lot of stories to continue, but I think the next one I'm going to do is probably going to have to be a Fallout one. Yeah, I think it's going to be a Fallout one. Guys, please like, subscribe, Nordic Beebo here, and we're out. Bye.